Footprints. I'm your host, Anthony Davis. I'm an educator at BHS, that's Beverly High School for those folks who don't know. And joining me today on the show, the podcast, is a guy who I've known for a few years, and I was pretty happy that he said that he was available to come on today. This would be Jabari Scutchins, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Associate Director of Athletics at Pingree School. Let's say hello to Jabari Scutchins, ladies and gentlemen.
How we doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good to see you.
You too.
So, Jabari shared something with me early today. Today is episode 37 for us, and Jabari is actually turning 37 years old today. So how about that? We like that.
My big day.
Yeah, that's it. A big day, indeed.
That's
And
right.
thank you for sharing it with us.
Of course.
Let's take a look at Jabari's bio, because he's got a lot of good stuff that happened here. I'm going to set him up a little bit here.
All right.
All right. He's a native of Harlem, New York. That must have been interesting growing up there, right?
Love it.
And a proud alum of the Ice Hockey in Harlem organization, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? He also brings over a decade of experience elevating independent school athletic programs and cultivating purpose-driven, student-centered culture. That's a beautiful thing. Now, from Harlem to Hamilton, when we're going to figure out how you got there.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Of course.
He spent the last 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, building meaningful athletic experiences for students and coaches alike, like myself. I actually work with this guy, and I'm very happy that I do. Jabari's professional journey is rooted in a family legacy, ladies and gentlemen, in that it kind of spans through theater and hospitality and education and healthcare fields, and sort of shaping his approach to sort of communication, adaptability, and leadership, which I really love. He's also known for blending sort of transparency and humor, which we're going to talk about, which I really love that too, right? And he has a vision sort of to inspire those around him, which is another thing, which is why we're having a conversation with him today on Footprints. His proudest work includes launching captain development programs, which I really kind of like, sort of designing athletic-specific learning models, and then forging partnerships between sort of schools and colleges to support really the next generation of athletic professionals. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Jabari is also a devoted father.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. How old is your son?
He is 2.5.
What is his name?
Mason.
Mason. Oh my gosh, 2.5. I remember we were talking about that.
Yeah, I
That
know.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Now, beyond the field, Jabari is a mentor and a connector, which we always love. And he's an advocate for value-driven leadership. And, ladies and gentlemen, he believes that true leadership, which I do, is rooted in empowerment. Right?
Absolutely.
And sports is really the vehicle that kind of carries and transforms lives. And it fosters sort of identity and builds resilience in all of us, which is what we do.
100%.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I set him up nicely. Welcome, Jabari
Thank you.
Scutchins, to the show.
Thank
We're gonna start off with this question right away.
Yeah.
Tell us, sir, something about yourself that nobody knows.
Something that no one knows. That's a great question. I would say something I don't think anyone knows. Maybe my mom knows. But when I was really young, when people would ask me what I wanted to do, I always wanted to be an orchestra conductor.
Oh, interesting.
I thought that was very cool.
Okay.
I was a big fan, still a big fan of music. Hans Zimmer is one of my favorite composers.
No kidding.
So I find myself often jamming out to, just the different instruments and how it generates feeling. So
All right.
I would go with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is interesting. I've never heard someone say that they wanted to be an orchestra conductor.
Yeah,
How
that's
about
pretty
that?
cool. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. Tell us a little bit about your favorite shoes. You have these favorite custom shoes, the Turkish shoes, right?
Yes, the Turkish shoes,
Yeah.
handmade shoes. They're called Sabas.
Okay.
So I discovered these maybe 6 or 7 years ago when I was living down in Situate. And I really have a thing for craftsmanship and attention to detail. And I like the story of these shoes.
Okay.
But what I like the most about them is the patterns that they have. And I use those shoes to pair with outfits as a symbol of expression. So, for instance, I have, my buddy calls them my Coming to America slides, right? So they're zebra print, like pony-haired zebra print. I have some cheetah print ones. So I like them because I think, people don't expect to see someone with leopard print shoes or blue leopard print shoes walking down the street with a pair of chinos on. But I'm that guy. So I really love the craftsmanship that they have and how they make unique patterns.
I love
Those
it.
are my
I love
favorite.
it. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm digging that.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty cool, right? I enjoy that. All right. let's ask you a bunch of questions about some student sort of activities or student spotlights. Of
course.
So you've worked with hundreds of students, right? And athletes as well. So what's one story that still gives you sort of goosebumps in a good way?
Great question. So I would say during my time at the Pingree School down on the South Shore in Situate, I had a unique opportunity to help transform their athletic program. And so growing up in New York City, you know, in the 90s when I was coached, it was very much a, you know, you do what I tell you to do type of model. So that's what I was familiar with. That's what I was executing. And I noticed that the kids weren't responding very well to that approach. So what it did was provide me an opportunity for introspection. So how I approached it was I dug deeper into emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and learning styles, right?
Wow.
And so it gave me an opportunity to say, okay, my team is small enough for me to make this experience really personable. So let me dig into how they learn. So, you know, you have kinesthetic learners, visual learners, you know, auditory learners. And so once I was able to put together how my kids learned, right, I was able to put together practice plans that illustrated that particular style. So it was more about giving them the confidence to execute said plays based on their learning styles.
Wow.
And independent of my influence, right? So
how cool
I
is
think
that?
the Montessori model, being there was very helpful because it forced me to come out of like, do what I tell you to do. Right. And then if it doesn't happen, I'm upset that it didn't happen.
Right.
But I'm also not understanding that what you're experiencing out on the field is different than what I'm seeing on the sideline.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And the perspective of coaches, believe me, I've been coaching forever, is a lot different than the athletes that are playing the sport.
Right.
Because they're like, well, coach, I'm seeing this. And I'm like, well, I don't see that.
Right.
Right. And it's good to be able to collaborate and be able to be like, okay, let's come to an understanding of how we're going to actually carry forward what we're going to do, right?
100%.
So I really like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to create a Mount Rushmore of Pingree athletes, student athletes,
Okay.
not just the best ones.
That's a tough question.
Right?
Yeah.
But the most impactful ones.
Okay.
Who's making a cut and why?
Oh, who's making the cut and why? Coach, you put me on the spot with
I
that
did,
one.
yes. Yes, I did.
Mount Rushmore. So what are we talking, 5?
Yeah, we'll go 5.
Whew. I would certainly say Felix Kloman would be my first. He was a basketball player, and he was a great leader, and he was able to respond well to adversity. I think with Felix, it wasn't about necessarily what happened. It was more about how he responded when it happened. And I think that was a great level of discipline, right? And I think for a high school student to have that self-awareness,
For
right,
sure.
is pretty cool. So I would say he would certainly be up there. Number 2, I would say, I'm like racking my brain right now.
Alan Williamson?
So you know what? Let's put him up there. I've never seen, the only time I've seen Lynn play basketball was when he dominated the faculty staff game. And he was also a great leader, and what an awesome story for him, right?
Yeah,
to
no
be
doubt.
an alumni, to come back, be the dean of students.
Yeah, no question.
Right, and contribute to that legacy. So yeah, we can certainly put him.
And he played in the NBA.
And he put. Oh, he did.
Yes, he did.
I did not know that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Toronto Raptors.
There we go. All right.
All that.
Perfect.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
I didn't know that. I love it. That's beautiful.
So that's 2.
That's 2.
That's 2.
And I think I would, selfishly from the advisory, I would have to say my boy Noe.
Okay.
He was an amazing soccer player. I met Noe, and he always had a bright smile on his face, always had a positive attitude, always found a way to show up for his teammates. And I think he sacrificed a lot to be a part of the Pingree community and show up every day.
Nice.
And then, I got to say all my hockey boys, right? Like
for sure.
my background is in hockey.
Definitely.
So, we had Ryan Kavanaugh. He was a strong leader. He had a strong presence with the team, great skater, great communicator, bit of a funny guy, but I mean,
We love that.
Who is it? But I think with being a hockey player, speaking from experience, it's just a different level of resilience, right? It's a different level of toughness.
No doubt.
And if you just approach it with an attitude of I can do it. So I would say those probably be.
That's 3.
That's 3. Oh, we might have to come back to this.
What about Bella Vaz?
Oh, Of course, Bella Vass, big baller.
Huh? Big time baller.
Big time baller.
Yeah.
She did a great job. Another fantastic leader on and off the court academically as well. I think she played. Didn't she play for like her country's national team?
She did. Yeah, imagine that.
Which is right. And
And
high
now
school.
she's playing.
Right?
Yeah, now she's playing college basketball.
Right. So that's pretty. That's
I
pretty.
think
amazing.
Stonehill.
Is she at?
I think so.
she.
Or maybe.
I think she's at St. A's.
Oh, I think you're right.
I think
St.
she's at
A's.
St.
I think
A's.
you're correct.
So we have Bella Vass, and
Yeah.
then
What about Charlie Lynch?
Charlie. I mean, you got Charlie Lynch. You got Ray.
Ray
You
Cuevas.
got this. You got Chris Jimenez from the football team. I mean, it's so.
There's so many.
There's so
We could
many.
go on and
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
We really could.
yeah.
Oh man, nice job though. Way to come through.
Yeah, you got me.
I love it. All right. So now, how do you spot a leader on a team before they even know that they're a leader?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think some of the things that I look for, right? I think integrity is the first value that I look for. I would say a sense of humor is the next value. And I would also say you can certainly see students who are committed to something bigger than themselves. And you see that by the way they show up, the questions that they ask, and there's their commitment to learning how to do something different and or better.
Definitely.
Right? So when we have students like that, it's really empowering and exciting to me, right? Because they want to take on a role and take on a responsibility, and they don't know what's going to happen, right? But they have the confidence to navigate what happens.
Absolutely.
And so those are the things that I look for. I think those are also things we look for in the community as well. But yeah, those stand out to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to just as a student athlete rise above and be able to perform at a high level and then inspire others while you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part of sports, and that's
It
what
is.
galvanizes everybody.
It is.
I really love that.
Yes.
I do
Yes.
indeed. Tell us a little bit about your background. You said you grew up in Harlem.
Yep.
Right? What do your parents do for a living?
So growing up in New York City, I loved it, and I loved growing up in Harlem. It was a small community, tight knit community, and it's still that way a little bit today. Some things have changed.
Oh,
but, there's some things that still remain the same. But my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so she put my education first. Right, she was always there to show up for me, be present, be active, be engaged. So I'm eternally grateful for that. For that
those are
choice
the
that she
footprints
made.
right there.
Exactly.
I love it.
So she definitely did a wonderful job of that. And I come from a community and from a family that is driven by, servant leadership and showing up for the people that they love, right? And not just in bad times, but in good times, being actively engaged in their lives and being of service, right? Because like you were saying earlier before we started, it's about circulation. What you put out, you put out that love, it circulates back to you.
Absolutely.
And so I was very fortunate to have the family that I did. And my father, he had multiple jobs with the city. So I think he worked at the Bridge and Tunnel, which is how my parents actually met. And then he was a police officer, and then he had various other city jobs. I think he recently retired a few years ago. He worked for the post office.
Nice.
So yeah.
So he's had a number of different hats. But think about this, though. Think about the work ethic that your parents established early on.
100%.
And you saw that.
Right.
And you said, I'm going to take that and run with that. And I'm going to find my own path, my own career, where I'm going to land.
Exactly.
Right? So from Harlem, New York
Yeah.
to Hamilton, Wenham. Now take us through that. How did you get to Hamilton, Wenham?
So I'll tell
Pingree.
Britney Spears, right? So this is like the legit "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" Britney Spears, right? So many years ago, I was kind of dragging my feet on getting into some summer hockey training. So my mom was adamant that I wasn't going to sit around the house, not do anything. My cousin Serena happened to give my mother this application for the Britney Spears Performing Arts Camp. Now, wholeheartedly, I was not interested in going to Britney Spears Performing Arts Camp, right? I'm like, there's no way my social currency elevates from from being a hockey player to going to Britney Spears camp. But anyway, if you meet my mom, you understand why I completed the application. So get into the camp, actually had a blast, right? Met some lifelong friends, stayed a part of the community, did the whole process of being a junior counselor in training. And so the first year I went to the camp, I had ended up meeting Britney Spears. And just quick backstory, one of my hockey coaches had made so much fun of me because I was going to Britney Spears camp. He's like, "What are you doing going to Britney camp?" So anyway, photographers are there, they're taking photos. Get back home, step off the bus. My mom has pretty much every New York Post from the 5 boroughs. And there's a picture of me, Britney Spears, and a fellow camper, Victoria Chan. And I'm like, okay, cool. Not really sure what to make of it. But my coach ends up sending me a whole letter that I have to this day apologizing for making fun of me or going to the camp because I came back and I was in the New York Post. Right?
I love it.
But from what happened at that camp was I met Donna Milani Luther, who was the executive director. Donna was, she just recently retired from the Pingree School in Montessori.
Okay.
All right, so just all my years working at the camp, just my background in athletics, once I had graduated from Utica College, she had reached out about me coming to Pingree to help transform their athletic program, right? So I got there and loved it, right? Got into the learning style-based coaching, transforming the program. We were able to win some championships, right?
Wow.
And raise some money, get some sponsorships. So that was really exciting. And then I was like, okay, how do I take this to the next level? How do I continue to develop those skills, demonstrate that I can be a leader at the next level? So the opportunity at Pingree opened up and threw my hat in for that. And then this is where we are now.
This is where we are now.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Yeah. That's like 6 degrees of separation. Connect the dots. Boom, 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 boom. And Britney Spears was in there. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, Jabari, you just never know where things are going to lead you.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And this is why you always take those journeys. You take those steps, those footprints toward whatever it is that you're going to do in your life. And all of a sudden, bang, you're there, right? Yep. And you're like, wow, I can't believe that this happened because of this.
Yep.
But it's an awesome thing to see.
It is.
And we're happy to have you at Pingree. I'm happy to be
I appreciate
one of the
that,
coaches
Coach.
there. Absolutely, 100%.
I appreciate it.
So now, tell me, what's your secret sauce when it comes to sort of helping students go from I just play sports to like I take pride in really representing my team in my school?
I think the secret sauce that comes with that is asking questions and avoiding judgment in the best way possible.
Okay.
Right? So when we have those situations where I have a student come to me and says, I'm really not sure about playing JV soccer, right? And I'm just asking questions. What's got you unsure about it, right? What are you thinking about it? How are you feeling about it? And as you know, as a coach, right, it's going to be about what your player is telling themselves after the event happens.
Yes.
Right? And so if we're able to get into that, right, really get to the root of it and have some vulnerability, which I think is important too, once a student is able to hear themselves say the thing that's been holding them back, it's a lot easier for them to move past it, right?
Yeah.
So I think the secret sauce is being curious, asking questions, and being vulnerable. So the less I make it about what I want and how I help them get to what they need or what they want, I think the easier it is.
Oh, for sure. And that's the beauty of leadership in what you do.
Right.
Not too many people are equipped to handle those type of situations and be able to handle kids like you do. So it's a beautiful thing that you do, and I'm happy that you're at Pingree doing it.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy to see it and witness it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do like our content, please subscribe to BevCam, also to my YouTube channel at Footprints Podcast. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show, please go to www.footprintsimpact.com. Fill out the form. We'd love to hear your story. All right, question for you, sir. What's one thing you wish every student athlete knew about leadership, and one thing you wish their parents did as well?
Oh, Coach, you have some quality questions.
Well, you know.
One thing I wish kids knew about leadership, I would say start with yourself. Leadership starts at home, right? And so the more you practice being transparent and honest with yourself about what your goals are, and as my mentor says, what we're willing to sacrifice in order to get to those goals, I think it becomes a little bit easier to attain them. I'm also a big fan in meditation and visualization, and I think that if you're able to start and visualize what you want the end to look like, and stay focused on what you want the end to look like, even those things that come up that could be prescribed as an interruption or a distraction will ultimately help you get to that point.
Oh, no question.
Right. So I think it's having that mental discipline.
Mm-hmm.
I think for parents, and I think it's a little easy for me to say because I'm just starting in the game. You know, he's not a high school athlete yet, and I'm sure my perspective might change with my own son.
Definitely. So, trust me, having coached my own sons, it does change a little bit.
I'm curious what that day will look like when it comes. But I think for parents, it's just having the conviction to know that your kids know what they want, right? And that unconditional love to support them. Mm-hmm. And that transformative journey, mm-hmm. right? I think when you go to private school, public school, boarding school, wherever you are, right, you're spending a lot less time with your parents and a lot more time figuring out and exploring different avenues of life, right?
Absolutely.
And if your home base is able to support you, have those vulnerable conversations, be curious, right? And also challenge your perspective. I think that's helpful.
Yes,
so I guess to answer that question, it would probably say, more your kid, less of you. But I also understand that's relatively hard to do. So.
It is, trust me, because everybody thinks their kid is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Of course.
Believe me.
Of course.
Me included.
Yeah.
Oh, my kid's great. My kid's great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you come to realize, my kid is great. And then here's the interesting part of this whole thing. So I coached my sons in basketball.
Yeah.
And parents and people would come up to me and say, oh, your kids are really good players. And I'm like, well, I appreciate that. But they didn't know there was a lot of that forging going on at home.
Exactly.
Hey, Dad, what should I do about this? Well, I think you should do this. And then my wife would be like, you can't bring that home. Okay, hon, all right. We can't bring that home.
Yeah.
All right, I get it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of times that's what happens.
Yeah.
But you'll see as your son grows and he gets involved in sports, it'll be a beautiful thing.
I hope so.
Oh, it will be. It will be. Couple things.
Yeah.
From the locker room now to sort of, the life room, let's talk a little bit more about that. You've coached and mentored athletes from all different schools, right, and different types of schools. What makes the Pingree athlete different than the other athletes you've coached?
So I think one of the things that makes a Pingree athlete different from some students that I've coached is their commitment to curiosity. Right? They are constantly looking for ways to enhance their experience, right? And ask questions that you might not be thinking about. And I enjoy that they have the courage to ask questions that could be perceived as being uncomfortable.
Yeah, right.
Like it takes courage to do that because you don't know how someone is going to respond. And I appreciate that there's a level of trust between myself and those students that they know they can come to me to talk about those things and ask those questions.
Definitely.
But I think having the courage to ask the hard questions, to ask the difficult questions, I think that's something that separates our kids from some kids I've coached in the past.
For sure. I can definitely see that because I've coached at the high school level, at the public school level.
Yeah.
And coaching at now Pingree, which is a prep school. I can see the difference between the two.
Yeah.
As far as academically speaking, as far as socially speaking, as far as economically speaking. And I got to be honest, you're right, 100%. That going into it, you just don't know how it's going to be, but all of a sudden you see, I have both perspectives, so I can understand and I can speak to what you're talking about, and I definitely can concur with that for sure. Yeah. Now, if your former players really could describe you in 3 words, what would they say?
Oh, man.
And what would you hope they would say?
You're right. I think that's the question. What do I hope they would say? I think that they would say relatively tenacious. I think they would say supportive. And I think they would say strategical.
Wow.
Those are the things that I would hope they would say.
And then I say, I don't know about that guy. No, I'm kidding. He's great.
Yeah.
Good question, too, and good answer.
Thank you.
What's one lesson that you've sort of taught on the court or on the field or on the ice that helps your athletes carry with them, that into maybe their careers and their relationships and so on?
Right.
Yeah.
I would certainly say, I think back to my time in high school, and And obviously there's just different levels of adversity, right?
Absolutely.
And you don't know who you're going to be until a challenge comes up. And again, like we said before, right, it's not about when it happens, it's about who you are when it happens.
Right.
And I think that has been the consistent message that I have shared with students that I have coached, right? Who are you going to be when this happens? How are you going to show up when this happens? And what are you going to tell yourself when it happens?
Right.
Because as you know, you could be coaching a game. Your players could lose the game, but you could still have a player or players who had a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Right? So being able to give them the vision of like, yes, we didn't get the outcome that we wanted, but there are still all these other things that happened where we had these successes that we can celebrate.
Yes, sir.
Is important. So I think providing them with the language so they're able to see the whole picture and not just the outcome.
Right.
Because sometimes when you're just looking for the outcome, right, you don't see everything that you've done to get to that moment.
No question. And it's funny that you said that because the same thing happens in the classroom for me, right? You know, a lot of times I'll give an assignment and the kids will be like, oh, this is the assignment, Mr. Davis? Yeah, this is it. And a lot of times they're like, well, what's it leading to? Like, you know what I mean?
What's the point?
And it's like baby steps, right? It's like building a basketball game or building a house, right?
Yeah.
You got to lay down the foundation first. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right, this is the syllabus. This is how we're doing.
Yeah.
And this is the first assignment in that particular step and how we're going to get there.
Exactly.
Right? So you got to give them a little bit of a vision. And I love that. So at one point, I had this saying on my wall in my classroom. It said, laziness kills ambition, right? And it says, anger kills wisdom. It says, fear kills dreams. It says, ego kills growth. It says, jealousy kills peace. And it says, doubt kills confidence. Now, we read it the other way. Confidence kills doubt. Peace kills jealousy. Growth kills ego. Dreams kills fear. Wisdom kills anger. And ambition kills laziness. So when you think about those things, especially on a level where we're into athletics and people galvanizing, coming together and playing sports, it's important that they understand it's not about them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And a lot of times that's what kids think. It's about, oh, it's about me. It's about me. It's not.
Right.
It's about everybody.
Exactly.
Right? And let's hope everybody has the same experience you're having.
Right.
You know, and that might not be the case.
Right.
But we want that to be the case. We want that
100%.
for everybody. Right?
100%.
Now, what moment was it that you realized I'm not just really coaching, you know, sports, I'm really kind of coaching people? When did you realize that?
So I think before I answer that, going back to what you said about understanding that it's not about you, it's about your team. I think a resounding moment was when I was playing at ice hockey in Harlem. And what I loved about playing for that organization and the team that I got to play with is we weren't necessarily the best team when it came to skill, right? Like we were playing other teams, had more ice time. You know, anybody could look at it and say these other teams had more, you had less, right? We could, you know, we could go on that spectrum. Not only do I think did we not acknowledge that we had less, it was more about the commitment and the collaboration to each other. And we knew that it was about showing up because we loved the game of hockey and we were playing for each other, right? And that's what made it so enjoyable to play for that organization and with my teammates. It was because at least I felt that we were playing for one another. We were obviously playing for our community. And that's a great feeling.
It is.
Right? That's a great feeling when you are tapped in and tuned in to something that is much larger than you. And that's, I think in that lesson, I learned that. And I think that's where I didn't know it, but I had fell in love with sport.
Yeah.
Right. Because I was like, oh, this is something that is much larger than me. And I get to contribute to it, right? And build those footprints out. And like we said, not even knowing that you're doing it, right? And that's when you know it's easy.
That's the beauty of it.
When you don't even know you're doing it.
That's right. That's right.
But I think to answer your question, I would certainly go back to my time at Inley, and taking that approach to the social intelligence and the emotional intelligence. It's like these are skills that you will need to have independent of sport, and sport is just the vessel that will teach you how that comes up. So I'm like, when you're older and you might be You might be slacking on a paper that you need to do
Yeah,
in college,
yeah,
right? Run that back to when we had practice actually to learn these plays, and you tried to do it the night before, right? What did you learn?
That you can't do it the night before.
Exactly, right? You have to learn how to manage your time, and you have to learn how to take responsibilities for your choices, and accept the consequences.
Yeah,
right. And I think when being a coach, and when you're able to a coach or mentor, whatever you want to use, but when you're able to get your players to accept responsibility and accept the consequences and understand that they have the command to change things,
right,
it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, no question. I concur 100% with what you said, for sure.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it that kids actually, once you empower them, because this is funny, I got to tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
So a couple years back, my son and I coached an 8th grade travel team in Gloucester.
Okay.
And one of the kids was like, well, I'm not going to play basketball anymore, because they had the same coach for the last 4 years, and they had won like 4 games in 4 years, right? So we ended up taking over the team as an 8th grade team, and we won 13 games that season.
There we go.
Right?
Yeah.
And here's the funny part. People said, oh, you must be a really good coach, Mr. Davis. You must be really good. I'm like, well, I'm okay, but it wasn't my coaching. It was the culture change, right? So it was us empowering the kids to make mistakes and have fun while doing it.
100%.
And that's what happened. It transformed that whole team. And they were like, well, if I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. And before, they would pass it, and they would give it to one kid who shot all the shots.
Right.
And that was no fun for anybody. Right. But as you empower a culture and the kids make mistakes and have fun doing it and realizing that they're just as much a part of what's going on that the next kid is, that's the beauty of sports. And 100%. That's what made it so much fun for me as a coach to see that transformation of those kids. You know what I mean? It was really cool.
I agree.
All right, let's have a little fun now.
Yeah.
Like we haven't already. All right. All right. Let's say Pingree launches a student-athlete reality show.
Oh.
Hello, how about that?
I love that.
What's the title?
Wait, what network are we on? First of all, are we on A&E? What are we on?
We'll keep it PG. PG-13.
Fair enough.
All right. So Pingree has launched a student-athlete reality show. Okay. What's the title? And what kind of drama are we in for?
Oh, I would say the title is Getting It Poppin' at Pingree.
Okay.
And the drama that we're in for, maybe we should call it Ping Ping.
We'll
do that. We'll do that.
All right.
The drama that we're in for, I would say buses are late. Buses are late.
I have experienced the buses being late, so I know that happens.
The transits are missing. I would say somebody's not satisfied with their uniform. It would be great television. It would be great television.
I would tune in, believe me.
Yes.
I would definitely tune in.
The buses, the uniforms, somebody's talking smack from the other team.
Different color uniforms. We watched the uniforms. They turned out completely pink for the boys.
It'd be wild. The parents are calling in. They want to know why their team didn't get pepperoni pizza. The other team got it'd be nuts.
It would be awesome. I love it. What's the funniest, weirdest, or most did that just happen moment you've ever experienced during, like, say, a game or a practice?
Okay. I would say this was a couple years ago. We were hosting Concord for it was the Chandler Bowl, and we were hosting at Pingree. It was like torrential downpour, right? But we still kept the games going, and the boys' varsity soccer team was playing on the grass field, and the grass field was just turning to mud. So it was the second half, and we were like, okay, hey, why don't we just transition the game to the turf field? And the coach from Concord was just like, never in the history of soccer has a team stopped playing on one field to go play at another field. And we're all standing around looking like, what is he talking about? I'm like, this is a mud pit.
Right.
You can't even play.
Right.
The turf is ready to go. Lights are going. It was just, when he said it, I know he was in the moment. The game was tight. It was 1-1.
Oh, okay.
So his squad had the momentum. He wasn't trying to give it up.
Right.
So I get it.
You're like,
and I was
did
just
that
like,
just
I'm
happen?
I'm like, fuck. Never in the history of soccer. Like, let's just go to the field.
I
So
love
it all worked out. I think they ended up winning the game anyway. I think they did. But yeah, I would say that.
I
That's
love
probably
it.
one
I
of
love
them.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you like our content, please subscribe here to BevCam, also to my YouTube channel, which is Footprints Podcast. And if you want to be a guest on the show, www.footprintsimpact.com. Fill out the form. We'd love to hear your story as well. All right, a couple questions.
Yeah.
More. Now, if Pingree gave you sort of $10,000, right, to create a brand new intramural sport, right?
Yeah.
What would you invent?
Invent.
And can faculty play?
Ooh, I don't know if I would invent it, but I would definitely, I think we should start playing inter-school competitions, like our faculty and kids against another schools.
Yeah,
like
that'd be awesome.
Like us against Govs, right? Like us against like a Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we did that in like a flag football, I think if we did that in like a deck hockey, a floor hockey type of thing.
All right, I'm feeling it.
Maybe even like, I know pickleball's a big thing right
Okay.
now. My lateral movement for that is limited, but
Yeah, I hear that.
but I would say something where we could have some friendly, inter-staff competition or inter-student staff competition between other schools. I would totally do that.
That'd be awesome.
That would be.
I'm in.
Yeah,
You got me right there.
I'd love it.
You had me at flag football.
I think we would. I think we would do great. I think you have it.
It would be awesome.
It would be fantastic.
I would love that.
It would be fantastic.
Couple rapid fire questions,
Yeah.
and we're gonna wrap this up a little
Okay.
bit. So, most underrated role in high school athletic program. What would you say that is?
Ooh, I would probably say athletic training.
They have a lot on their
A lot of
plate.
responsibility.
Oh
right?
my goodness,
And
yes, they do.
I think people don't necessarily understand.
Yes, Nick and Jen do the
Exactly.
best that they can,
Exactly.
and they do it well.
Exactly, 100%. Right?
Yes.
I enjoy working with them. They're consistent, they're reliable, they're dependable, and they're transparent. And I would certainly say that some people don't recognize, right? If Nick or Jen are not present, we're not having a game.
Right.
All right, it's not happening.
Not happening.
So it doesn't matter. If we have the buses, they're there, the officials are on time, we can have all the pizza in the world. If they're not there to provide the level of care, pre and post game and during the game, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So I would say, athletic training can often be overlooked and underrated, but it is really the heartbeat of what we do.
No question. No question at all. And they do a tremendous job.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that to work with both of them
100%.
for as many years as they have. It's really awesome to see.
Yeah. I go in there and get treatment myself.
Yes, indeed.
So.
Gotta get that. Gotta get that. So, athlete you take in a post-apocalyptic?
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you say that.
Yeah.
Dodgeball game.
Post-apocalyptic dodgeball game.
Who would you take?
Bo Jackson.
Absolutely.
Bo Jackson.
Because Bo knows.
Bo knows.
Bo knows.
And Bo don't play.
Yes, he does not.
I'm taking Bo Jackson.
Yes, indeed. Best game day snack. What would you say that is?
Now, what season are we in?
Let's say we're winter.
Ooh. Game day snack, wintertime. I'm going to go with the Rice Krispie treats.
I'm
I'm going to go with those.
Oh, those are all right.
Those
are all right. I'm digging those, actually.
I go with that. If I had to say springtime, I definitely need a bag of seeds.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like David seeds.
Okay. I'm big on chocolate-covered almonds. I love those, and also chocolate-covered cashews. I'm digging those.
That's good.
I'm digging those. I'm digging those.
I like a good chocolate-covered peanut.
Yes, indeed.
Those are delicious. I love that. That's a great question.
Hey, it is a good question.
Yeah.
All right, check this out.
Yeah.
Least favorite phrase to hear from a referee?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
That is the main one. That's what they generally say. They say, I didn't see it.
That one is the worst.
That's the one. I was like, what do you mean?
You're right there.
Everybody's sorry. How did you not see it?
We watched you watch it.
Exactly.
Right? So how did you
How
not
did you not see it? Right?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Athletic superpower you wish you had?
Ooh. Athletic superpower I wish I had. I would say if I was playing if I was still playing hockey, I would say 100. I love to pass the puck. That was one of my favorite things to do, was assist. And I would say accuracy. 100% accuracy. I'm passing to one of my teammates. It's landing on the blade every time.
Every time, right? It's a superpower. Boop, I got it right there.
Setting them up to score goals.
I love it.
That's what it would be.
All right. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a great time with Jabari Scutchins. I'm going to ask him one more question, or maybe a few more.
Okay.
But he's coached and directed and mentored and led a lot of student athletes, and you've seen a lot of wins and losses and growth over the years. When you look at student athletes walking across the stage at Pingree, what's the one thing you hope they've learned from being part of the Pingree program?
That's a great question, Coach. Listen, you should have a book with questions. This is good. These are good. I would say it's a unique question because I think most of the students at school are athletes. They have participated in some type of JV or varsity sport. Obviously, I don't have personal relationships with all of them, but most of them that I do have relationships with, as they walk across the stage, I can say, I really remember you coming to talk to me about enhancing your communication, right? Just having the conviction that you can get that PR in the weight room, right? And even just having the belief in yourself, or just navigating how to talk to someone at school that you might like, that you want to build a relationship with, but you're too nervous to do it. But I certainly think, to answer your question more holistically, I think they have a great deal of confidence, right? Self-confidence and conviction to know that they can achieve what they want, right? And that they have the skills to do so. I think academically, Pingree does a great job of pushing limits, right, for student comfortability, right? We want to get you out of that space of where you're comfortable and really get you into that unknown space, just so we can show you that you can do it, right? Because that's what's going to be mirrored once you graduate. And I think that's a great skill to have, because you just constantly, you want to learn. You want to learn. And so when you're at a place that is able to inspire learners, right, intrinsically, that's really cool.
It is cool. You're right. And carrying that purpose forward of now your journey is not really just complete, it's beginning. Once you graduate, where am I going to go now? What are the footprints or the steps I'm going to take to get to where I want to get to? Right. And that's the beautiful part of doing what we do as educators and coaches and athletic directors and all of that, having the interaction with those kids and seeing the growth and seeing them become something like else that you thought, wow, I didn't really see that coming. Right? And that's what happens, you know, when you invest in people, which is a good thing, and that's what you do all the time.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing, no doubt.
Thing.
Now, final question. If you could have dinner with anybody, dead or alive, could be an actor, could be an athlete, anybody, who would it be and why?
I would probably say Earl Nightingale.
Okay.
Earl Nightingale is one of my favorite philosophers.
I like Earl. I like that.
And often his content is something that I often refer to if I find myself kind of leaning into a gray area, or just having the symptom of not wanting to take responsibility. But his content is a great way for me to be able to reset myself, focus, and step back into that space of responsibility.
No question.
So I would love to sit down and have dinner with him, because I just wonder what he would have to say and suggestions that he would have.
No doubt.
Be a great resource.
So I'm a history teacher, ladies and gentlemen, humanities. And one of my biggest things I would love to do and sit down and have dinner with person is Willie O'Ree. You know who that is?
Listen, I know Willie O'Ree.
Willie O'Ree. First African-American hockey player, professional hockey player. Right? Played for the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics, Boston Bruins, excuse me. And I would love to sit down with him and be like, wow, man, how did this come about? How did this happen? You know, I mean, let's be honest. We're not sure how it happened, but we know it happened. And so how did we get there? Like, what were the steps you took to get to be the first guy
Right.
to lead the mantle
Yep.
to be a professional hockey player as an African American. I would like to know that.
So, funny story about Willie O'Ree. He used to come to the rink when we played at Central Park, right? And this is just kids being naive, right? And thinking that that's somebody's grandfather watching, right? We're like, whose grandpa is this? Like, kind of watching us from the stands. And then you figure out, right, who he is and what he did. And I still have, he actually signed one of my awards that I have. And he would come out to the program often. And really fantastic guy. And I think what I really love about Willie O'Ree, and just general people that I just kind of grew up, admiring, like Matthew Hinton is one of them as well, right? Is that sensation and idea of empowerment, right? Like if I see you doing it, right? I see you in that space and I identify with what you're doing, or I understand the challenges that are accompanied with what you're doing, right? It not so much it gives me hope, but it shows me that, all right, if that person can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
And that again is just, I think, what is beautiful about life in general. It's you see someone, right, and you can make the choice, right, to ask the questions to get you the information that you want to know, right? Because you may come across that situation or something similar, but you won't be the first person that comes across that challenge,
right?
And you won't be the last,
right?
But when it does happen, that's your moment, right? And how you choose to show up in that moment is awesome. So when I come across something that I think is challenging, I often think to myself, like, is this as hard as it, or do I think this is as hard as it could be, or was this harder for someone else?
Yeah.
And more times than not, it was harder for someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
So I'm like, all right, well, I can find a way to make it easier.
No doubt. And ladies and gentlemen, that is words of wisdom from Jabari Scutchins, Associate Athletic Director of Pingree. It's been my pleasure to have been sitting with him and finding out his footprints. And ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you have enjoyed our content. And if you want to be a guest on the show, please go to www.footprintsimpact.com, fill out the form. Don't forget also to subscribe to BevCam and also podcast. And you can also find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on YouTube. We're here for you, and we'd love to hear your story. And I always ask this when I close every show: who left a footprint on you? Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.